Hello, love. Hadn't fully intended on doing a reading today, but all of a sudden, it's like, go show your face. So I'm like, okay. Plus, it would just be horrible to waste such a beautiful curl day. So there's that. All right, we are going to use our Celtic Healing Oracle to see what kind of big energy is coming up for the collective, and we'll go from there. Okay. Interested to see what kind of energy comes through. Sovereignty 33. Okay, that's interesting. So this one is about invoking the vitality of the natural world. So we are being called to spend time outdoors and embrace the spontaneity of nature and the fact that we are a part of nature, and this core dynamic is present in our everyday life. I love that. So this very much has that rebirthing energy with the spring coming forward, and we're kind of being called out of that hibernation mode. I very much feel like that is kind of an overwhelming theme just in general with the energy. And it says that nature attracts and brings a fresh start that will spark your drive towards health and creativity and setting forth a fiery energy within you. Like weather and seasons, embrace the change. Put productivity to the side and allow yourself to slow down, reflect, and integrate. So it seems like this energy is kind of lingering, and even that was something that I noticed for myself. Because typically once you come to that awareness point, you come out of the hermit mode. But it feels very different this time. It feels like, okay, you have that awareness, step forward with that, but also it's like this lingering, hanging back feeling of it's not quite time to come back fully out, if that kind of makes sense. So this call to introspect and retreat very much has not just this seasonal element going on, but that need to pause and give space for the natural ebbs and flows and just those natural processes, and to be with them and to really listen and honor that. And Adam just shared something with me, actually. It was a really great quote, and it was basically like, what would happen if we allowed ourselves to honor, those spaces of intuition and alignment and those types of things. And I laughed, I'm like, have you seen my life? But that's the thing, is like, if you can allow yourself to slow down, to listen to your intuition, to listen to those little tweaks of the universe guiding you in the right direction, life looks very different versus going ahead with a plan that you think you want to take, or living a life that others tell you to live. It's very different. It's sovereign. And that's kind of a theme that I've been talking about lately. If you've noticed that shift in my language, I've been using that word a lot lately, not just in terms of like interdependence and independence, but this sovereign energy of you have the power and control within yourself to be who you are, and nobody can take that from you. Like, you have to give others permission, right? And we don't take enough accountability in that, because oftentimes it's easier for us to be like, okay, no, you make the decisions. Because if someone else is making the decisions, it's easier to live with, right? And you can play victim and all of those things. So it takes a lot to stand in your sovereign energy, to stand in your own power, and to have that level of accountability. I didn't even get to shuffle them. They just fell straight down. All right. right, what are we being called to look at? 5 of materials, 9 of inspiration. So it's this lingering energy thinking that you don't have the power or control to go after what you want, to bring it into reality. But as we've talked about so many times, this is a self-victimization. It is so far from the truth, and you are being invited now to step into this power, to step up to the oracle gate, and to really kind of draw a line in the sand from what life has been for you and fully embrace who you are now and who you are being called to become, to really forge your path forward and to let go of this energy where you are just self-victimizing and acting like you don't have the power and control to make the life that you want, because you do. The only thing holding yourself back is you and your belief in whatever construct it is that is holding you back, whether it's fear, whether it's life circumstances. It's where there's a will, there's a way. I don't mean to flash you, but like, that's Ingus, right? Where there's a will, there is a way. If you can see the path forward in any way, which is sometimes really hard to do, the path will eventually be made lighter and brighter, but that comes from being in alignment with yourself. You're not going to be able to find the right path forward if you're taking in all of this energetic noise and everybody else's opinions about who you are and what you should do. I'm trying to block it out, but I fucking can't. And all I can hear right now is, ironically, a video that my twin flame shared like 2 years ago now, and they're basically saying the same thing. Like, your family and friends and people who love you, their intentions are often in the right place. Their advice is often out of a sense of love and based on, their experiencing, and all of that is so beautiful, but they don't know the core truth of who you are. And my crown chakra just turned all the way on. Ooh. So, you really need to give yourself that time and the space to retreat, go inward and be autonomous, to have that sovereignty within yourself, to listen to your core truths and to get out of this energy. Because until you get rid of all of the external noise and allow yourself that time and pause, you're not going to see it. You're not going to be able to create the reality that you want. Because you want it. You feel that drive, and that's why you get so irked and disempowered, is because that energy wants to create. It wants to bring something forward. You have everything you need to do it, but your mind puts in these blocks, and oftentimes, more than not, the only block that's actually there is the belief that there is blocks. I'm going to say that again. Oftentimes, the only block that actually exists is the belief that there is blocks. Ain't that the kicker? And even with the situation that I'm in, it's like, I think a good turn of phrase here might be like the lesser of two evils, right? And we often put ourselves in that position. But the thing is, there will always be a level of sacrifice that we have to make with our decisions and risk and all of that. And you really have to sit there and ask yourself, is the risk worth the reward? Right? And put yourself first. You have to remove everyone out of the equation, even if you have children, even if you have dependents, which is so hard to do, especially if you're a mother. But you have to do it. You have to put yourself in that position where you are autonomous and you are just you, and nothing outside of yourself can you control. Which, again, for parents in general is like the hardest thing to do. But you have to see your children separate from you. And that's something that I get a lot of questions about with the custody with my son, is because when he's gone, I don't check in on him. I have full faith in the adults that are caring for him, that, you know, they're handling his safety and well-being and other things. And I don't pry into his personal life and the things that he does. I hold space for him to share openly with me. And we've spent a lot of time fostering that safe space and developing that relationship in which we can have those very open discussions where he feels safe to come to me with anything, where he is able to freely share. But that did not come from me being over top of him like a helicopter, meddling in his life or anything like that. And yeah, he's really young. He's not even a teenager yet. And that takes a lot of letting go, because we desire control so much. But the thing is, when you try to control anything outside of yourself, nothing good ever happens. If anything, you create more problems because there's that friction in the energy, because nobody wants to be told what to do. And like in the very core of us, nobody wants to be told what to do. People who say they like to be told what to do, put them in a situation where they don't actually want to do it and, you know, watch all hell break loose. We have that desire to be autonomous, right? And that's why we get frustrated with those blocks. It's because we want to have the power and control over our lives to do what we want to do when we want to do it. And there's also a level of, you know, control that we have to let go of and let the universe do its thing, which arguably is much harder. But once you can understand how far your extent of control, what that is, it gets a lot easier. But again, you are not going to know what that is until you take the time to slow down, turn inward, introspect, and get rid of all of the external noise. And I promise you, once you do that, that clarity will come, the inspiration will come, and you will be fired up and ready to take that action and forge ahead and create the life that you want. Guidance and advice, please. Wow, that's a lot of cards. Guidance, that's better. Magician, you are a powerful creator who has absolutely everything you need in your life at your disposal to get you from here to wherever you want to go next. A journey begins with a single step. The step that you are terrified of making, that instills the most fear, that's what you have to do. Face everything and rise. We're not even going to put the other one into your head. Fear can be a beautiful catalyst in pushing you forward if you are brave enough to face it. There's only so much running you can do from yourself, from your destiny, from your purpose, from your past, from all the things. The sooner you turn around and face it, the sooner you can overcome it. And you might actually realize that those demons and those shadows are not as big as you thought they were. It was just the fact that they were behind you that they were towering, right? But as soon as you turn around, you realize that they're not that big, and you do have what you need to overcome them. I think you need to have a little bit more faith in yourself, because all of this is pushing you, page of materials, into this brand new beginning where you have a sense of a curiosity and hopefulness and that kind of youthful ambition, right? Where you kind of cast all worries to the wind and you just go for it. But again, that only comes from really tapping into that fiery energy within you and telling fear to take a back seat. Or even if you feel it, to keep moving ahead. Those comfort zones are where hopes and dreams go to die. You got to get out of that. The magic happens when you're able to cross that line over out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to leave it here because this is just a very beautiful, and it seems to just keep reiterating at this point. So I'm going to keep encouraging you to take that time away, to keep stepping back and introspecting. And if you don't have a journal, I always tell people, number one thing I ever tell them when they ask for help, get a journal. Just write and write and write and write and write until you can't write no more. That alone can be catharsis for you. It helps give the energy a linear output, or circular sometimes. And what you can do if you still feel blocked is go back through and read it and highlight or circle all of the reoccurring words, and you will find the answers there. And it's a great process to get it outside of yourself. If that doesn't work for you, dance it out. You know me. I will talk endlessly about move through what you move through. Our bodies are designed to move energy. It's an innate tool that you have with you at all times. So, best of luck on your continued journey. If you ever want to share what it is that you're moving through and those awarenesses, I always love hearing them. You know where to find me.
Coming at you with a reminder. Be cautious when seeking outside of yourself for advice on a major life decision. People, even with the best of loving intentions, can have the impact of filling you with untruths purely based on their given lens of experience and perspective. Trust yourself. Don't wait for them to tell you that you should do that new thing, that you should talk to that person, that you should see that new place. Because whenever you choose it from the things that you want, that's what you can stand on. You can stand on that pride that it was you who made that decision.